Yo, 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 what's up? Welcome back. I know it's been a minute. Let me go ahead and welcome Mike back. What's up, Mike? How you doing tonight?
Good man, how you doing?
I know it's been a minute. I've been busy as hell. I don't know if you know how it is coaching two sports, but holy shit, it's like get off of work, go to the field, go to this other field, coach, come home, wash your ass, go to sleep, do it again, rinse and repeat.
Sounds busy.
Hey, it's been a while. Baseball season's over though, so we're back on the mics. I know it's been a minute, but I couldn't miss Thanksgiving Day. And it's only right for me to put the Cowboys and the Indians up there with the proper Washington logo in the background. I don't know if you caught that or not.
I did catch that. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself. Hope, hopefully, everyone appreciates that. This is Brews with Galoob, so let me crack one. Um, I know it's only Tuesday, but it is Thanksgiving Eve. How excited are you for Thanksgiving Day?
I'm excited to eat my mama's food.
Aren't we all? Isn't that the name of the game for
Eat mama's food and watch football. It doesn't get no much better than that.
the last Thursday in November is always for that.
Yep.
Uh, Three really good games. The last one, I don't really care about. I'm really upset that it's the nightcap. I know I said that earlier. We'll get to that. The Turkey Bowl to me is probably the first game. Green Bay and Detroit, probably the best game of the day. Yeah.
I would believe so, yes.
Okay. The spread is 7.5. Detroit's given a touchdown and a half a point at home, and the over/under is 47.
It did they change it? I was showing 45 and a half, so I guess it's going up.
Well, you know how it goes with different sites giving different ratings. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. That spread seems kind of high based off the game they played earlier this year. I know Jordan Love made a few mistakes in that game. The score was a lot more widespread than the actual game played, but eh, they're not playing terrible football, and Detroit just about got beat by Chicago. So hopefully it'll be a good game because I don't think the other two are going to be any good.
I will say I'm actually really impressed with how Jordan Love's been throwing the ball the last few games. There was one throw. Green Bay played Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago. There was one throw in the end zone he made to Romeo Dobbs that was really, really good. And I don't know if it was like a 15-yard throw, but it was corner of the end zone, and it was on the money. And it was just kind of a flick of the wrist, very Aaron Rodgers-esque.
And he's got that whole sidearm Aaron Rodgers type delivery. It's kind of eerie to watch.
I guess that's what happens when you watch something happen for so long. You start imitating it without even knowing it.
Hey, maybe the Packers have it down. They had Rodgers sit 3 years under Favre. Now they got Love sitting 3 years under Rodgers. Maybe Pittsburgh should take up that model.
If Jordan Love turns into a Hall of Fame quarterback, I will be thoroughly impressed. I
Hey,
wouldn't go that far for now, but I will say that he looks better in recent weeks, and the Detroit Lions continue to be on fire. So, as much as I'm sitting here praising Jordan Love, I don't see any way Detroit loses this ball game.
well, I would have thought that this past week too against Chicago. Maybe they were looking past Chicago at Green Bay. It took a heroic last 7 minutes of that game for them to even win it. So um, I anticipate a good game. Love's coming around. Detroit's defense isn't there yet, so Love could have a good day. I think you're going to see a 28-24, 28-21, 27-20, something like that game.
Right on the over under. Way
Yep,
to go, Vegas.
right at the spread, right on the over under.
I will say Detroit fans have suffered for so long watching terrible team after terrible team on Thanksgiving Day. How exciting is it to be a Detroit Lions fan for this Thanksgiving?
They're actually favored, so they should take this and go eat their turkey and be happy.
I'm pretty sure they're a heavily bet on Super Bowl favorite at this point too.
You know what? If Philly doesn't pull that one out of their ass last night, they're sitting as the one seed right now.
Who would have saw that coming after after such a long time?
Yeah. Hey, Dan Campbell, man, he's he's turned that organization around. I don't know the right words to use. His enthusiasm, his fire, it's really done wonders for that team.
I mean, there was a lot of hype around him when he came in, but it takes some time to turn a team around. And You could feel like Detroit fans were starting to get a little impatient and like, is this all an act? Is he full of crap? Obviously, now we see that's not the case, and I'm glad they were patient because this is an exciting football team to watch, and it's an exciting chemistry to watch develop, and it was exciting to watch Jared Goff's rebirth as an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, they got a bright offensive mind as the OC. He will probably be a head coach come next season. Uh, it's fun to watch. They are a fun team to watch. It's nice to see somebody different, another team in the middle of all this.
It's hard being an offensive coordinator not named Matt Patricia in Detroit.
It must be a hard thing not being just an offensive coordinator named Matt in general.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that. Matt Canada. The
Finally got
door's over there, my man.
Yeah, finally got the boot. Tomlin finally pulled his balls down and said, "Here you go."
I can't tell you how many text messages I got about this. Long time coming.
Long time coming. Long. I thought it should have changed this past off season, but the offense started to show some promise down at the end of the year last year. Pickett was growing. It seemed that he was growing. Get what do you have? 4 game winning drives at the end last year.
He's had a bunch this year.
He's had
It's,
some. He's had several this year. The clutch gene's there. I just don't know what the hell's wrong in the first 3 quarters. Uh, Hopefully it's the OC. Hopefully Sunday we come out and score a touchdown on the first drive and this will all be put to bed.
well, to be completely honest, it was kind of the same way when Roethlisberger was there with Matt Canada. It was like they couldn't figure out an offense all game, and then when it gets down to like 2 minute offense, I'm running up the line, I'm calling one of three plays. All of a sudden, the offense is moving.
Yeah.
So that seems like to me, it's a game plan thing. It's a scheme thing. It can't possibly be a talent thing. There's too much talent on the field for that to be the issue.
Way too much talent. I believe it's game scheme. I believe it's a scheme. I believe it's Matt Canada's conservative approach. Um, his very stagnant, predictable offense. Um, I don't know how much Pittsburgh takes into account their offensive line with their scheme, but it's like the first play we had this past Sunday. Would Pickett take 2 steps and Garrett was eating him for lunch? I mean, it was the first play of the game for us.
I mean, ball game in Cleveland, crowd's excited. Miles Garrett can pretty much run past anyone. I kind of get that. I'm not that mad about that specific play. I think the bigger problem is the overall, just like the consistent
Well,
shortfalls and shortcomings and downfalls of the offense in general.
well, when you average 4 yards a throw, man, what you expect?
Well, and he did the same thing to Ben Roethlisberger. He had him in a box, throwing drags, slants, bubbles. Well, this isn't college. We're not
Well,
playing fucking Oregon State here. Stop it.
Ben was a statue his last year, though. I kind of, I don't want to use the word appreciate that, but I mean, he protected him with the quick throws. You needed to evolve that with a younger quarterback, and he didn't do that.
I mean, yes, but also no, because as soon as Ben was in shotgun and extending plays yet again at his old age, we were winning ball games. So
Can we just bring him back? Can we just do that? I mean, he can still sling it. Let's just go.
stop it. I love Ben. Stop it.
I do too. Hey,
Stop it.
what about the
No.
Brews? He's on the list for the next OC job for Pittsburgh.
I wouldn't really hate that, but at the same time, it's like, is he too connected as a player on the field? Is he going to be overbearing? I think you run into that a lot with players coming back as coaches. They were too involved in the mesh and the thread of the team that their expectations would be unreasonable. They would think they can do everything better than the people that are there, which maybe they can, but not at this juncture. And there's a lot to say about execution as a player and being able to groom and develop people. And Ben said before, when they drafted Mason Rudolph, he wasn't into grooming somebody. He didn't want to have an understudy. He didn't want to be a mentor.
I don't want him as the next OC. I think Ben, over his career, has proven an ability to alienate players on his team, calling out, doesn't have an issue doing that. I don't think him being an OC would be good for Kenny Pickett's head. Again, we saw what he did to Mason Rudolph's head. So, I don't. There's a reason the great quarterbacks don't coach. Peyton, Joe, Tom's not going to coach. That's too much of a control factor, too much ego, too much. You're fucking doing it wrong.
I mean, it comes back to a lot of times, just like in like the real world, your best workers aren't always your best managers. Your best quarterbacks aren't going to be your best coaches. maybe one-on-one coaching, maybe as a quarterbacks coach. I don't think controlling the whole offense would be a good thing for a legendary quarterback that has that kind of self-driven desire and knowledge. Excuse me.
Look at MJ, great
I don't
player.
want to get off on a tangent on Big Ben. I love the guy, but let's be real. He's not going anywhere. He's not coming back. He's sitting on his couch having a great time, and I appreciate all the years he gave to Pittsburgh.
Yep, I do too. Hopefully, my hope is this. Maybe we'll sneak into the playoffs. I want to see growth from now to the end of the year, whether we lose the next 7 games or go 4-3 or 2-5 or what. I don't care about the Tomlin's record as a coach. Let's get through this year. Let's see some progression, and let's bring in an offensive coordinator that is not within our organization because, frankly, our coaching staff is not worth a damn at any point, from below the head coach down. We promote from
Yeah.
within. We promote from within. We've done it since Tomlin got there, and it's not been very successful, in my opinion. You had a Hall of Fame quarterback to carry you through most of that. That kind of disguised that. I want to go get a. I want to get a Ben. I would love to get a Ben Johnson. I mean, obviously, I think he'll be a head coach, but Frank Reich, I think is going to get fired. He'd be a good choice. I don't want Kellen Moore. I want Ken Dorsey. I want nothing to do with him. Maybe if Brian Daboll gets fired, take him. I'll be okay with that.
It'll be interesting to see how much of this was actually Matt Canada and if the offense itself was being held back. I like
Well,
it
I mean,
gives me a reason to pay attention the rest of the year
you
for
had this
sure.
point earlier. You're not. You promote from within, so you don't have a new playbook. It's the same plays. This is not going to change anything. I just hope to see maybe some more deep shots, maybe a change in the protection on the line to give him more than 2 seconds to throw the football. Something that changes it, that develops him. The plays are the same. There's not there. You didn't just throw out a new playbook and the running backs coach come up with a new playbook between now and Sunday. It's the same. It's going to be the same shit. I just want to see a increase in production would be great. Maybe different way calling the game differently is what I'm hoping.
I guess we'll find out. I mean, you kind of get a layup with Cincinnati with no Joey B as your first game, so we'll see
Yeah,
what happens.
I'll take.
Second game on Turkey Day.
You thought that against DTR too, and we lost.
Cleveland's defense is really good. Cincinnati's defense is not. Second game on Thanksgiving, Washington and Dallas, Cowboys and Indians. Old school. Has Dallas been playing Washington every year? Because I feel like there was like a break, right, where they weren't playing Washington.
I
Dallas was still playing, but they weren't playing the Redskins.
I don't really remember. I think they played Detroit maybe once or twice. Was that
I
maybe?
really don't know off the top of my head. I
Yeah.
just feel like they didn't do it for a little bit, and now we got Washington, Dallas, Cowboys, and Indians. We can go play it in the backyard. We can watch it on TV after we eat our turkey.
Yeah.
Washington is a 11-point underdog in Dallas. 48.5 is the over under here. What are you seeing here?
Dallas beats up on bad teams, so in theory, um, they should beat them by. They should cover the spread. In theory, they smacked up to the Eagles. They beat up on the Rams without Stafford. They lose to the Niners. They spanked the Patriots. Spanked the Jets. Spanked the Giants again, 40-0. They beat bad teams, lose to good ones. This should be an easy win. Should be an easy win.
Actually, if you check my TikTok at Galoob QB1, my last TikTok was about Dallas beating really bad teams and losing to really good teams. So, also while you're at it, follow Mike G. He's MikeG 2338 on TikTok. TikTok.
Yep.
The YouTube's Galoob QB1, but if you're already here, mash follow, mash subscribe.
Yeah,
Um,
Dallas
I
fairly easily.
I do agree with you, but I also think that Sam Howell has played wildly outplayed his expectations this year. I think he was underrated, and I actually think Sam Howell looks really good, and the numbers back that up.
Well, let me ask you this question to go along is Eric with how the Chiefs are playing. How important is Eric Bieniemy now? What he's doing with how Washington's offense has looked versus what the Chiefs look like right now.
I wish I could get into like a schemes breakdown with some
That's
video, but I don't have that technology obviously handy.
that's like
Um,
that's like Dayball leaving Buffalo. Well,
I'd like to see their play calling and play execution compared to what Kansas City does. Now, I don't think Kansas City changed their playbook. I don't even know who the OC is in Kansas City now, but
and
I would
now
assume. So do you think Nagy came in and brought in a whole new playbook and said, "Hey, Patrick Mahomes, we're going to switch the whole system"?
I
I
mean
would venture to guess that Mahomes was involved, and a lot of the schemes were incorporated from what the enemy left behind.
I agree with that 100%. I think that's like the Brady and Peyton Manning effect. The OC coming in wasn't really coming in as a new OC. Yeah, there was already a playbook in place. You bring different ideas and stuff, but there's something to be said about these OCs. They're leaving, and these teams are not looking the same. And the places they're going, I'll buy it. The Giants don't look good this year. They did look good last year with Dayball, and BME's obviously turned around Sam Howell and the Redskins or Commanders, whatever the hell they're called now. Um,
Well, thank God that Matt Nagy got a layup because he sucks as a coach.
and he's not doing very well as Patrick Mahomes OC right now either.
He might be a really nice guy. Um,
Hey, did you
back
notice
back to what's
Chiefs
going
had
on in.
the
Go
Chiefs
ahead.
the amount of points in the second half in the entire NFL averaging worse than us, which is saying something. They've been shut out the last three games in the second half. We're averaging like 5.8 points per game in the second half.
I don't know. That's one of those stats that I never pay attention to. You'd have to hand it to me on a sheet of paper for me to throw it out there. All I know is the Chiefs don't look as good as they were supposed to. But honestly, I don't think the Eagles have either. I think the Eagles and the Chiefs both look beatable, even though they have outstanding records. They played a game last night that was fairly close. I don't know. I feel like I'm not watching the same two teams that I watched last year.
You miss little pieces here and there make a huge difference. Again, you go back to the OC. Hell, Philadelphia lost both their coaches, their coordinators. Kansas City lost their OC. You lost players on defense, on offense. You brought in this tackle from Jacksonville that lines up offsides every time for the Chiefs, and they don't call it. You know, and he's still, they're still putting pressure on him. Apparently, they need to give the Chiefs receiver some stickum because they can't catch the ball either. But
Well, and you saw it's kind of like what Aaron Rodgers dealt with for a long time in Green Bay. When you have second tier receivers everywhere all over the field, even if you're putting the ball on the money, they're not going to make the plays that the number one's going to. Now, granted, Pat Mahomes he's very lucky. He has Travis Kelce, who is the number one. Let's be honest.
yes,
But some of these guys have got to come up with the ball. This is the age of the receiver. You guys aren't cutting it, bro.
yeah. Did you see the one MVS dropped?
I did. I mean, he was getting roasted all over social.
He's dropped several from Aaron Rodgers, man. And then the guy on fourth down, they hit him right in the hands. I mean, Mahomes couldn't throw it any better.
Listen, it's hard to catch a ball, okay?
Clearly, especially.
Maybe these guys would be better suited as dodgeball players.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got off subject. One more thing on the OCs. I do think Eric Bieniemy has had a huge part in Sam Howell's development, but I thought Sam Howell was an outstanding value in the fifth round. I mean, the guy the year before, if he would have come out as a junior, he would have been a first or second round pick. Bad senior year, comes out as a fifth rounder. I think he's got a ton of potential, and for him to like a lot of times it does depend on which coach you fall to, and for him to luck into Eric Bieniemy, there's nothing else he could ask for developmentally as a quarterback.
Nope, nope. You got a decent O line and a number one wide receiver and a pretty good OC.
All right, back to the game at hand. Dallas 11, Washington. You're taking Dallas here.
I'm taking Dallas. Yes.
Give me Sammy H. I'm taking Sammy H. He's going to cover 11. Dallas wins by 7.
This will be that game that Dak throws three picks, and I'm sitting there like, God damn, really? Here we go.
Excuse me.
All the damn defenders.
I do think Dallas wins, but I think Sam Howell's going to keep them in this game. And honestly, since Washington traded those two big ends, their defense really hasn't looked much like it doesn't look like they've lost a step. They've looked okay.
No, they just gave up. What 30? Who they play last week?
Who did Washington play last week?
Yeah, Wash. They gave up 31 to the Giants last week.
I mean, let's be honest. They're 4-7. Don't 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 shoot me off the high horse for it saying Sammy looks good. But I think they hang in there enough on this game. Everyone's excited enough for Turkey Day. I do think Dak Prescott's going to be eating a turducken after the game, celebrating a win still. But I see him covering the 11-point spread.
Do you think they go over or under the what is the over under 40, 47,
Give me
45?
the over. I got 48.5. Give me the over. Give me a Dak Sammy shootout.
You said it's 40 and a half.
48.5.
Oh, okay, I'm about to say I was showing 48. Okay.
I'm still banging the over. Let's go.
Yeah, I see that being a 31-20 game. It's gonna be a push on the spread.
Hmm. And actually, give me an over in the first game, too. Detroit, Green Bay.
Over,
Turf game, Ford Field, Detroit.
over,
Let's go. Give me
over.
the over.
Yep. Over at 45 and a half is what I have. Now, how much more goes up from that, I can't be held responsible for that.
I'm holding you responsible, along with everyone else that loses money because of you.
Take the over right now, 45 and a half.
West Coast nightcap. I don't know how exciting thinks this is. San Francisco, Seattle just gets me 0% excited. This sounds boring to watch. Now I'm gonna watch it. Don't get me wrong. I'll probably take a nap in between somewhere. I might be a little tipsy by this point, but San Francisco's favored by a touchdown, flat 7. I don't like betting on this game because I can see San Francisco winning by 7 in Seattle, and the over/under is 43.
So
Everything about this says gross game, gross, ugly game to watch. I take the under. I think the game could push.
I think the game could push. I have a couple different sites. I have one showing 7, one showing no line at all. They're not 100% sure if Gino's going to play. So I think that's part
Well, okay, I'm assuming that Gino's going to play, but
of
even if he
assuming
doesn't, I still think it's a gross game to watch.
that.
Sorry, even if he does.
I could see that being one of them 17-13 games. I don't. And me and you used to like those when it was Baltimore and Pittsburgh. I don't know if it's because we just don't like either one of these teams, but
There's a difference between a good defensive battle and a gross, ugly game.
well, this has this. If I believe San Francisco 7-3 and Seattle 6-4, is that correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
Here, let me. I'm sorry. Yeah, 7-3, 6-4. Seattle sneakily is very good once again.
if Seattle wins this, they're leading the division.
That just sounds wild to me because I don't think of Seattle as like a Super Bowl contender. But hell, they were in the playoffs last year.
Yep.
Gino looks just as good this year as he did last year.
Yeah, he's made. I think he's got the money now, but he's made a few more mistakes so far this year. But I think he's got better command of the offense, if that makes sense. I think he's pushing it a little more than he should. Just let the game come to you and do what you did last year. You're probably sitting there at 7-3, 8-2 maybe. He's made some bad mistakes and some key moments, but
I'll
uh,
tell you what surprised me a little bit is the almost disappearance of Tyler Lockett. I feel like he's not very impactful to the game anymore. I don't know where he's been, or
he's old. I mean,
he's old. That's what old people do. They die.
you got DK and the guy from Ohio State. I can't NG. What is NGSB or whatever the hell his name is?
You can't just make people up.
What's his name? The guy. He's got the three.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, Tyler Lockett's the odd man out.
It just seems so weird to me because he was such a game breaker for several years. Well, I guess that was more like Russell Wilson era, but he was so fast. He was almost like a Deshaun Jackson type.
Yeah, he was fast and he could get under that Russell Wilson moonball because that's the only thing that Russell could do good. So, you
Oh,
know,
you mean Hall of Fame quarterback Russell Wilson?
yeah, who magically has the Broncos at 5-5. It's fucking amazing.
Look at it! I knew it was going to happen. I had faith the whole time. Everyone's making fun of me. Everyone's making fun of Russ, and you know what? They're right there.
No, I'll never live this one down.
You're talking about Smith Jigba,
Yeah, that guy, NSB.
JSN
Yeah,
actually.
or whatever.
Pick 3 letters. Let's fucking go with it. Who knows?
Something like
Might
that.
work out.
Yeah, something like that.
I tell you what, I don't even want to pick this game. I would say I'm not betting this game. Just watch it and maybe throw a parlay in there.
I wish I knew what the weather was. That's either going to be a total game or like a total game. It's not going to be, like it's going to be really ugly or it's going to be high scoring. I mean, the Seahawks get involved in some shootouts, man. They've been involved in some this year. 37-31, 37-27,
If
29.
Gino throws up a 40 spot on San Francisco, you will finally hear me say, "Fine, Seattle's a Super Bowl contender."
Yeah. No, I don't see that happening either. That was a dumb comment. I retract. I'll take the under.
Don't go with it because every time I bet on something, it goes haywire. Don't fucking bet on it.
Yeah. I would take.
So,
I would. I would. I'm kind of like you. I'm afraid of the push. Um, I'm gonna take San Francisco to cover it. They got something to prove now. They've looked really good the last 2 weeks. They smacked Jacksonville's ass. They did it, and then they did it again this past week to whoever the hell they played.
I don't know. The visual I just got
Baker. They
was
made Baker look like where he really is not very good. So it's
all right. Let me ask you this. And you can't say Heinz Field. You can't say Pittsburgh. What has been your favorite place to watch a game? Favorite in stadium experience?
um. I'll say Jacksonville. They got the pool and all that. It's the weather's almost always nice. Um, the game me and you went to in Cincinnati wasn't bad because we got in a fight in the stands for Heinz Ward breaking somebody's jaw, but that was fun. But Jacksonville's got a good atmosphere. It's always a party. You got, like I said, you got the pool. If you can get into a game at the end of October, November, where it's not 112 degrees outside, it's not bad.
I agree. I'm a big fan of Jacksonville. One of these days, I'm going to make it down there for a pool game. So I asked that to tell you my experience at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and I will say, while it's an immaculate, amazing structure, one of the most disappointing game atmospheres I've ever been around. So everyone talks about, yes, the stadium looks awesome. Yes, it does. The food is cheap. Yes, it is. Although the beer's not, the beer still sucks. But you get free refills on sodas. So if you slam a whole bunch of beers, buy one soda when you get in there and get one $2 hot dog, you spent like $8. And you spent $12 at the Quickie Mart. That's cool, but that's where it ends.
Yeah.
The both end zones are corporate boxes. There's no fans up along the stadium. The either end zone, so you're not getting people going up and handing balls in the stands. It's all corporate luxury boxes. Probably half the people don't give a damn about the game. The side seating along the benches is so far away from the benches that there's probably no interaction, and it seems like it's made like that, like a very corporate setting. And the lower bowl, very quiet. All the real fans are way the hell up in the nosebleeds.
Yeah.
It's louder up there than it is anywhere down low. Lastly, the stereo system inside that stadium sucks ass. It's so much treble and not near enough bass. Not only that, it's Atlanta, like one of the hip hop capitals of the world.
World.
You
Yeah.
should be playing some of the best hip hop songs to ever come out of Atlanta. And the fact that you didn't play Young Jeezy Put On with Kanye, get the fuck out of here. Come on. Who is in charge of this shit? Regardless, the game was really cool. So that was the game that Josh Dobbs beat the Falcons in his first game as the Viking after, I forget the guy's,
The other guy got hurt.
yeah, what's his name? Starts with an H from BYU.
Uh,
Anyway, yeah, that quarterback got hurt, and Dobbs came in on 3 days of, yes, Jaron Hall, I'm sorry. 3 days of practice. Josh Dobbs somehow wins the fucking game and scores the game winning touchdown right in front of us. So, game wise, cool. Stadium wise, ass. I have no desire to go back to Mercedes Benz unless it's for a Steelers game.
yeah. So he pulled a Baker Mayfield, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I get from the Rams game last year where he came in and just threw some shit up.
Yeah. No, it's disappointing. That does look like a nice stadium from the outside, and even on the camera views from the inside, it looks nice. But you gotta incorporate the fans, man. You can't have it all being corporate like that. That's disappointing.
It is an architectural masterpiece, I guess. But I'm not interested in that. Give me Lambeau Field that's a billion years old and the fans are right on top of you and they're jumping in the stand. Give me that shit. I
Yeah.
don't care about this corporatized stuff. It's like a Super Bowl atmosphere. There's a reason the championship weekend is better than the Super Bowl. Everyone knows that. Every real sports fan knows that.
Well, look at all the big games Mercedes-Benz holds. You got the SEC championship game. You got the what's the other major? It's not the sugar. Is it the Sugar Bowl now?
I
They
don't
host
even, probably the Peach Bowl. I don't know.
some. So I mean, you have big games there.
Well, the point is that it's a corporate event venue, and you're pushing away your regular fans that are Atlanta Falcons fans.
Well, nobody can afford a ticket to that place, anyways, man. I looked at tickets for the not that I was going to go, but the SEC championship game last year, they were like $1,300 to sit in the nosebleeds.
Jeez, that's worse than a Morgan Wallen concert.
Right, right. So I mean, that's where your corporate people come in and pay for all that shit.
All right, we're hitting on a half hour here, so let's wrap this thing up. Before we take off, make sure you follow Mike G. He's MikeG 2338 on TikTok. I'm Galoob QB1. Follow me on YouTube. Follow the TikTok. I am on Facebook also, and Spotify has our episodes right after recording. Um, Champion of the Thanksgiving foods.
Say that again.
What is your top Thanksgiving, and in honor of Thanksgiving being it is Thanksgiving Eve, what is your number one thing you desire to have on your plate this Thanksgiving?
Cranberry sauce.
Man, you can't just take that from me. It's so underrated, and you can literally take a fork full of it and mix it with anything on the damn plate.
And it goes great with stuffing, mashed potatoes, green beans. It goes great with everything.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's like the ketchup of Thanksgiving.
Yep. Yep. Sorry,
Good
I didn't mean to
God.
take your there. That's
You
fine.
did. I've never had that happen. This is horseshit. Usually, macaroni and cheese, mashed potatoes and gravy. Cranberry sauce is always the sleeper.
Cranberry sauce, buddy.
All right, Mike. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. Stay on. I'll talk to you for a minute after here. We're gonna get out of here. Hey, everyone, give us a follow, give us a like. We'll be back soon. I
Have,
appreciate you stopping in, guys.
everybody have a good Thanksgiving.